I think it's live. Check on thing. Live in 24 hours. Well, that's a mess. I think it's live. I messed up the dates, but it's okay. I'm advertising it everywhere that I can. Post it. Wix as well. There we go. Don't know if anybody's going to be watching, but we're going to be playing a bunch of NES stuff tonight. Yes, this is a ROM-ACK version of 1943. The ELT drops a lot slower than in the original NES version, aka making the game actually playable. Because your ELT is always dropping in this game, because they calculate your ELT as your gas, and it's normal that your gas goes down, but it literally makes the game unplayable if you... I mean, it was meant to guzzle quarters, so I understand why Capcom did it, but, you know. And it is a very mash-heavy game. Like most of those early NES arcade ports. Not playing the best I could, but it doesn't matter. Almost done with the special weapon, which I don't like. I much prefer the mashing of the normal gun. When you kill red enemies, they drop either some ELT, a special weapon if you're getting the... if you hit it a few times, if you hit it through a couple of loops, you get the a bigger fuel tank, so more ELT. That's a barrel. I don't know what the barrels do. I always grab them when I see them, but I don't know what the barrels do. When you've killed enough stuff, well, you go down and you go and attack the Japanese fleet. Because this is a very historically accurate depiction of the Battle of Midway. No, it is not. There was more than one pilot doing all the job at Midway, and the cruisers and the ships actually did stuff too. Not just a single guy in a P-38. No, that's a... that's not a P-38. That's a... I can't remember the name of that plane. My brain is not where it should be. There we go. Doesn't matter. Wee. I mean, you're going to send a single heavy assault, heavy fighter to attack a cruiser. That's typical American behavior. Have to wait a second or two to get the last bit blown off. And you won. Yay, we won. Sink a ship. 50,000 points. Recharges 40 health. Yay! I survived. Oh, it is a P... I'm pretty sure it's a P-38. P-51's the Mustang. P-38 was the heavy fighter, which was rather... All those heavy fighters in World War II were rather terrible. Because they were supposed to be able to be faster, stronger, and everything, but it ended up being that the smaller fighters were more agile, and that's what actually counted. So... Yes, it is not a perfectly historically accurate game, I know. Like most of those plane games, they're not very realistic. I don't think a single guy in a plane could shoot down that many enemies. I don't think the Japanese had that many planes. They did have quite a bit of planes, though, during World War II. But, you know. Geez, there's a lot of threats here. That's an upgrade. Go and buy more attack power. With that act, you can actually buy attack power and not just else, which is, you know, fun. You can actually do more than one thing in the darn game. Yay! Basically just me warming up here with a fun little game. And I haven't played any NES in a long time, so I'm kind of low on health, though. That's not very good to be low on health. Is not the hardest of the bosses. Yeah, I'm dead. I don't have enough health to finish this. There we go. Hey, how are you doing, Lataniel? I'm playing some random NES games tonight, just for the heck of it. Because I want to have some fun and relax. I could mow the lawn. That's a very relaxing game. I had an Arkista's ring there on the thumbnail, so I'm gonna do an Arkista's ring run. I wasn't terrible when it was in the Big 20. That particular game, I could have been like, I would have been like 20 something on the leaderboard. An odd game a lot of people haven't heard of, so it's pretty fun to play. Ooh, a fire rod from the start. That's good. Basically, you have to kill some monsters in every stage to get the key to move forward. And it's usually not too bad. Not a very difficult game, at least not at the base level, but as you progress in the game, things get a little bit dicey, and there's 3 loops to the game. And at loop 3, things get rather stupid. Like zombies that are faster than attack dogs, things level stupid. Got the armor. There's a whole lot of items that you can collect to increase your L, to increase your... Oops. I've got a short bow, a short arrow, the leather armor, that's a bonus to my health. Got a fire wand and a cure potion. You can check your stats and what you are carrying every round. You have to kind of figure out the enemies are moving to be properly able to kill them and not get destroyed. Yep, there's Stardew Valley. That was, well, I was playing Stardew yesterday. Just felt like playing some NES today. A bit of a different thing to stream, and not a bad thing. There we go. Got that guy. Maybe I shouldn't have used the potion just yet, but... Right. Um, I try to play NES stuff when the Big 20 comes around. Big 20 is a pretty fun event, but I don't participate in the Big 20 proper. What I do is I just play the games that are on the Big 20 list and try to beat them. Usually my results are quite varied. I have to say, NES, there's a lot of good games on it, but there's a lot of terrible ones too. And I generally end up playing the okay ones, so I'm happy. Big 20, if you start playing the games in it, there's always a couple of troll games in the list, so those troll games are sometimes fun, sometimes absolutely infuriating. Arkista's Ring was a fun surprise. I think a lot of people liked it when they put it in the Big 20. But it was one of those weird hidden gems on the NES. It's a really small game from Sammy in the time where Sammy wasn't really doing much in North America, but it was a North America only release. So just really weird all around. Got a light wand I could use. Kill a bunch of the skeletons. The items you really want in your possession is the fire wand and the potions, probably the two most important one until you get to the end of the game, where there's the ninja stoppers, because there's a lot of ninjas attacking you. Ooh, yes, the arcade TMNT game. Yeah, that one was awesome. To be quite honest, it's my brother got it for his birthday, and when it came out, it was freakishly expensive. So it's normal that it was not a small purchase. But yeah, I mean, we played that game religiously, I would say, and it was a load of fun. We didn't know how to play it properly. The twerking worm. We have here the twerking worms. As you can see, they are twerking, and they are worms. The skeleton, if I had kept my light wand, I could have killed that skeleton permanently, but now I can't. The squids have a decent drop rate, so I'm going to go kill them just for their drop rate. I've got 3 fire wand, 2 potions. This is a very good loadout. A lot of people say the first Ninja Turtle game on the NES was really hard. I never had too many problems with it compared to some people. Of course, the later levels are crazy difficult, but I mean, when you could buy one game every, you could buy one game every 6 months, it was quite different when you were buying games than nowadays, where you can go on Steam and every week there's a sale of something, and there's bound to be at least one game you can buy to have fun with at a decent enough price. That wasn't the case back in the 80s, 90s. People don't remember just how expensive NES and the Super NES cartridges were. And I think it was Chrono Trigger. I saw an ad for it. It was 99 bucks in $1993 in like real money back when it was worth something. So can you imagine how much it would be worth now if you were to buy the same thing? It wouldn't be pretty. Yeah, the water level a lot of people have problems with, until you realize that it's a labyrinth that's always in the same order, right? So it's pretty easy to beat. You just need to learn the order. Once you know what the order of the darn bombs are, you're good to go. ripping off rental stores. I think we all were evil to some of the rental stores we dealt with. But I have good and bad experience with rental stores. Some of them were really nice, but some of them, like, they were terrible. I do remember buying Breath of Fire 4 on the PS1 off my local store, local rental store, because they were not going out of business, but they're getting rid of their NES library. Not the NES, their PS1 library, and I got it for like $15, and it's a game that's worth like a couple hundreds. So. Poor guys. The fact that you don't have a melee attack in this game is a bit what makes it sometimes a little bit difficult, because you can't just, go and rush the enemies. You have to hit them with your arrows. So you do have to be a bit careful about that. And the enemies are very aggressive. I wonder which of those threes is the one that is actually a secret passage. Yeah, it's not very difficult. But those enemies, you can't really stand in front of them. If you stand in front of them, they just bombard you with shots. And as with most enemies, most things in this game, you don't have any iframes. So you die really quickly. Oh, it's the weird Minotaur dudes. I think it's like the one level where you see those. It's good to be filled out on items, because it increases the chances you get the other upgrades. Come this way, you. There we go. Do I lightning rod them, or no? I'm gonna lightning rod just in case. Go. But the NES, the first NES Ninja Turtles game, a lot of people have problems with that water level. They have problem with the getting to the Technodrome level, the one where you have to go to the various sewers where it's random. I kind of understand why people don't like it, but I mean, it's part of life going through those levels, I guess. And the fact that they did something with a semi-randomizer is kind of impressive for the time. But that was the wrong rod to use. No, that was the right rod to use. Okay, good. Ocean. Trying to think of Ninja Gaiden, of course, is the classic game that got a lot of kids to rage, but it's a game that's easily beaten in 11 minutes nowadays. Jesus. Some of those speedrunners I see play it, and I'm like, God, how you guys actually manage to do this stuff. Bugs. Bugs, bugs, bugs. Right, now there's a bunch of skeletons down there. If you want to kill the skeletons, you have to use the blue rod. It didn't do much, but Open this, eel, open this, go up. I beat TMNT a few times, both as a kid and nowadays. It's easier once you've got, a guide and seen people play it. Nowadays, it's not as bad as it used to be, let's say. Okay, that's first bit where I'm going to use my fire rod, because I don't want to get killed by the manticore. Yeah, come on. Come this way, you. There we go. I think a lot of people have better memories of the arcade TMNT games that they did afterwards. I kind of understand why, because those were really, really good as well. The TMNT2, the arcade game, was really fun. And all the other ones afterwards were pretty nice as well. It's crazy how that final boss in Ninja Gaiden is just too crazy. And I mean, the final one, like it's 3 phases of a boss plus you have to kill the Ed, then the actual demon art, and it keeps adding on and on and on. Oh, you've got all of them? You're lucky. I don't know where most of my NES games went. I don't know if my parents got rid of them. Which is quite possible. I wouldn't put it past them. No, I don't think it would be too much to ask if they were gone. I know where my original... Final Fantasy is. It's in one of my boxes over in the back there. Ooh, Tournament Fighter NES. Ooh, that one was odd. I have to say it's not a very good game. Let's be clear there. On the SNES, it's not a bad game, but on the NES, it was rough. Let's say it was rough. I mean, it's still better than some of those. What was it? Ports to Game Boy of some games. You have to be courageous to make ports to the Game Boy sometimes. As you can see, this isn't a very difficult game. It's mostly memorizing and going through things in the right order. There are a few secrets, like now I'm going to use one of the actual secret. This tree is actually not a real tree. There we go, we got through. Double Dragon was pretty cool. The one I played the most, though, was Double Dragon 2. Double Dragon 2 I've beaten. Don't think I've beaten Double Dragon 1. Yeah, this one you have to kill all the slimes. You've got really fast zombies. I guess they were early on the fast zombie craze. There we go. Ow. Oh, Battletoads and Double Dragons. Oh god, I've seen Arcus. It was in the last Big 20. And Arcus tried to get a decent PB in it. And even a guy that plays NES games for a living 8 hours a day just couldn't get that game down. It was just too difficult for him. That's insane. Contra's not that bad once you learn the patterns and you learn what you need to do in repetition. Because it's a fairly repetitive game, let's say. And there's really patterns you need to learn and things you need to do to make sure that it, works like it's supposed to. And I've seen decent runs of Contra. I've seen great runs of Contra over the months and the years. What's his face? Viva Fry, a lawyer guy. A bit weird, but he's okay. Did a Deathless run of it with his kid filming him because he didn't have a capture card or anything. It was quite funny seeing a weird lawyer dude go through Contra, and his wife was trying to rush them to go to like an event or something at the same time. And he's like, no, I'm doing a Deathless run. It's really, really good. It was really funny. I've never tried Contra in 2 players, personally. Kind of weird to say, but I've never played Contra 2 players. Now, to kill the vampire, what you do is you take a fire rod and you shoot him from the side because he can't attack you. Very difficult boss, once again. Contra is insanely fun. It's a massive action game, and you always are doing something, which is a lot of fun. And I understand why they keep trying to remake Contra or something similar to Contra, because it just works, right? The problem is nobody's really been able to do it that good in terms of remakes or a reimagining of Contras. Come on, bat. Stop being a bat. There we go. Got this. Oh, those guys can't kill. This. As you can see, there's a lot of stairs, and only one of them is real. In this case, it's a randomly assigned one based on the seed you've got when you start the game. So you're never 100% sure where it's going to be, but it's always one of the back ones. Of course, it's going to be the last one I go to, right? Needs to be a photorealistic one with the voices of Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger, like it was supposed to be. I think that would be a bit of a... that would be a bit expensive. At least getting Arnold. I'm pretty sure getting Stallone wouldn't be too hard, because that's the kind of silly stuff he likes to do. But Schwarzenegger is a little bit... of a unusual fellow. Bit more bit less willing to be nice. Wasn't there a secret passage here? Yeah, that's what I thought. Oops. That didn't kill them. That did. Potion and a lightning rod. You know, I've got the elf bow and the ultimate arrow. I've already got the best arrow, and I've got, I think, this is the second best bow, so I've got the longest range and the most damage, so I'm fairly well equipped. This is a pretty good run. I would say, actually, it's a pretty good run, because I'm getting to the tough parts now, where the ninjas start showing up, and the ogres. The ogres and the ninjas are not fun. This is another one of those rooms with multiple stairs. You should always try this one first, because it's already open. That's the speedrun strat. The world record has that particular stair as the stairs to go to. Every stair you miss, there's a ninja who spawns. So, could be a problem if you don't take care of the ninjas. Ninjas can jump across floors, so floor tiles. So they are pretty dangerous. Got some eel. I'll take it. It's going to be the last one I'm taking. It's a randomly assigned one. Okay, those can't jump over terrain obstacles. There's different colors of ninjas. Well-known fact that ninjas come in different colors. Wasn't the last one, just almost. Here there's a swarm of ninjas. You can use the ninja stopwatch to just stop them, so it makes things a little bit easier. Hey Mobius, how you doing? Arnold was in a Mortal Kombat game? He was doing a voice, or was he Arnold in the game? Because, you know, that's Both things that are possible in Mortal Kombat. I can't remember how to get through. Go. Well, I got through there. Can't go through here. We can just kill those two. Wait. There we go. We're entering the Shogun's castle. Oh, he was Terminator in a Mortal Kombat game. That makes perfect sense, and it does fit in Mortal Kombat, so it's fine. Ninja, come over here. There we go. Bomberman, I never was super good at. I kind of liked it, but I was really not good at it, so I never got around to it a whole lot, I guess. Jeez. Oh, I didn't want to use a fire rod here. That might that might bite me. Okay, no, I've got another fire rod. Okay, I'm safe. Castlevania 1 and 2 I've beaten. Castlevania 3 I tried and failed miserably. After a little while, I do get fairly far nowadays in Castlevania 3. I have it on my PS5, so that's why I could play it a little bit more, and there's built-in save states, so if I want to practice, if I want to play it a bunch, I can. It is not an easy game still. Trying to think here of another. I mean, hard games on the NES. There's just tons of them. It would be easier to actually list the games that are easy on the NES. There's fewer. Oh, good. The Gray Ninja destroyed me there. There we go. Those blue wands are useless. I'm just going to use them. There's a few of the games that are on the PlayStation Store. All the Mega Mans are on the PlayStation Store in different versions, and they're still really good games. Let's not kid ourselves. Castlevania are mostly on there. You can get all the old Mario on the Switch. The Switch has got a pretty decent backstore, basically. If you've got the Switch online thingy, you get a very decent amount of games from the old NES library at a pretty decent, 1-year price, and they haven't increased it stupidly like PlayStation has. I mean, I'd canceled my PlayStation discount before PlayStation started acting like idiots recently. Because recently, PlayStation really went out of their way to make sure people are mad at them, but I canceled it as soon as they raised the price to $99 a year, really. Not worth that much. Ooh, Mega Man 2 and 3 in carts. That's a very good. Those are my two. I think those are my two favorite, 2 and 3. I liked 2 better than 3 when I was a kid. Nowadays, I think I like 3 more than 2. After that, I think 4 is my next favorite. I can't say between 2 and 3. I've got a hard time saying like which one is my real favorite. While for 4, I'm pretty sure I know 4 is one of my favorite. This one here is really easy. Once you know the trick, you use a fire wand and you just sit in that corner and all the ninjas just go in the corner and jump because they want to try to sneak up on you. So the AI is not the smartest at this point. I wish I'd gotten the mirror yet, but I don't think the chances of getting the mirror in loop 1 is really, really low. The mirror is the best item in the game. Now, once again, a whole lot of stairs, and only one's the real one. A few of them spawn ninjas. And you can trap them still. It's slower, so speedrunners won't be doing that. For Mega Man X, I really like Mega Man X 1, 2, and 3. After that, it gets too esoteric for me. I have a hard time with the PlayStation Mega Man X's, I guess is what I should really say there. I'll grab the key. Not sure I need it, but... That was rather terrible. There we are. And the final boss. The evil Shogun. Is actually not that terrible. I think the previous level is harder if you don't know if you don't cheese it. The previous level is harder than fighting the Shogun. Because the Shogun stays a bit far away from you, so he doesn't body you with the melee attacks. Unless you're dumb like I just did. Oh, I just used one of the wands and it killed him. Then you get Arkista's ring, which allows you to get regeneration for the next 2 loops. I'm not going to do all 3 loops because the other loops are just the same thing but harder. But this was Arkista's ring. Pretty fun little NES game. It's pretty easy. Yes, I know I've died twice. So, not a very difficult game. A good one to try, though, if you've got an emulator, if you want to get a cart of it, the cart is not the cheapest because it's one of those games that didn't sell 1,000,000 copies, basically. And next up is the one big game I had on the thumbnail, Spacegulls. This is an homebrew game, so it is built for the NES, but it wasn't built on the NES originally. But you can actually get a cart of this, a cartridge of Spacegulls. It's an odd game. You're a little bird, and you kind of fly like in Joust. So you have to press A to bounce. And you're trying to beat up an evil guy who is over there. There's not much of a huge story here, and there's little baby birds floating around. Some people say it's like a mix of Mega Man and Joust. It kind of works like that a little bit because you've got enemies that you got to bounce on their head a little bit rather than shooting them with arm cannon. The life bar is very Mega Man-like, as you can see. That's another pretty short game, really. Oh. Joust, I just can't. I physically can't play Joust. It's just too difficult for me. I have an aversion to that game. There we go. Got that guy. Oops. Spikes do hurt, but they don't instant kill you. What's in that direction? Oh, there's a little baby bird in a spacesuit. Gotta grab him. Trying to see if one of the enemy drops some elt. I don't really need it, but... And there we go. Little egg. And I understand why people would like Joust, though. It's a pretty good game. Narc on the arcade apparently is really good, but on the NES it's a rough game. It has a lot of rough spot. Right? Now I can't remember which way you're supposed to go, so I'll go this way. There's an egg here, so if I needed elt, I'd grab it. Big egg, a lot of health. Dodge these enemies. Dodge these guys. There we go. That was pretty good. There's I'm not sure the bill of a duck would come out like that on a fossil or on a... Well, on a fossil, yes, because a fossil's not bones that you see. It's weird. I do have Narc on the 4 emulator if I want to play it, but it is a rough game, and it is... Ow. There we go. What's up there? Ow. Death is up there. Looks like it. Yes, death is up there. Oop, I died. Oh well. There's a baby bird. I'll go and grab him. There's one of the baby birds that I don't know where he is in the entire game. We're out to get to him. The problem with a lot of those arcade games, the arcades were already 16 bits, while the NES was 8-bit. So you can tell the difference when it's a 16-bit game that they've ported to the NES, and it really shows sometimes. I think Narc is one of the example of that. And sometimes you can't tell much because the games was 16-bit, but it was terrible. So this one's got a shotgun, and he left the screen, so he died. So I'll take it. Oop. Get the key. Open the gate. Whoa. Oops. That was not good. It is a very cute game and a very fun one, even though it's also pretty short. But I mean, I think it was coded in a weekend or something. I think it was one of those Game Bash games. So, I mean, I kind of expect it to be done quickly. There we go. It's fun that some people still make NES games. Some of them are really good, and some of them are rather strange. But this one is really fun. Same with Lawnmower. I mean, no funnier game than mowing your lawn. Kind of reminds us of this Simpsons episode where kids do the yard work simulator. But Lawnmower is basically a small puzzle game. Pretty straightforward and pretty easy. On the other side, a small egg. I'll grab it. No reason not to. I do need some elt. I mean, those jumpy guys are not too difficult to beat, at least. I say that and I get hit by them. We're going to get to the swordy guys soon enough, and those guys are the real jerks. Oh yes, we're playing NES tonight because NES is fun. It's... Everybody, well, not everybody's got memories of the NES, but everybody in my generation do. People a bit older than me as well, but not always the same. Younger folks, some of the younger folks, let's say, they've got memories of the NES from either seeing their older siblings playing it or their parents playing it. And with the access to the NES is now pretty easy. Like we said with the Switch online console thing, you got a lot of very good games right there. And you've got to switch the NES Lite or whatever it was called. It was a pretty good deal as well when it was released. And people who modded that thing, well, they can play just about any games nowadays. Okay, those guys with swords are kind of rough because they are very aggressive. But we're getting close to the end of the game. Like I said, it's a very short game. I wouldn't mind them doing an extended version of it. It wouldn't be a huge issue. I mean, it'd be a fun little thing to do as far as the game goes. Ugh, I am. All right. There we are. Here, grabbing the key is actually makes the rest of the level more difficult, so try not to grab the key in this particular room. Here you have to kill those two guys while not hitting the spikes at the top, and since you do bounce when you hit an enemy, it can get tricky. Okay, that's a way to get one of the smaller birds, and that's the one that I don't know how to get, so I'll just not go there. Oop. All right, leave the screen. Leave the screen, please. Thank you. They die when they leave the screen, so that makes my life easier. Here you do have to grab the key because you need to grab the key to be able to beat up this guy. There we go. Then you have to kill at least one of the other bouncy dudes. This one's a fun room. You do have to be careful not to hit the spikes, basically. But you do get a big life refill, so it's not a bad place to be. Underwater Mario? Well, that'd be an odd name for a game, but I can understand why it would kind of remind you of something like that. All right, grab the key. I'm gonna kill the enemies just to make my life easier if I die. Oof. I remember this room. I do not like this room. That's what happens in this room. Yeah, kinda. At least in this one, you can defend them yourself underwater without fireballs. In Mario, you have to have equipment to defend yourself while in the underwater. Forget that stupid frog suit. that's only ever good in like 2 levels in the entire game. There we go. Do I need to go from the bottom up? I can't remember. Oh, at the bottom you got a big egg. Okay, well, I'll take the big egg. I'll take the key and move on forward. Okay, this one here is just dodge the turrets, which is not too difficult. 2 of the sword dudes. That one is a less enjoyable one, let's say. Lots of spikes and sword dudes. Oh, we got it. And now is the end gauntlet, which is right before the actual end boss. I mean, it's, like I said, very easy, short game. Well, easy-ish game. Ugh. I can clear this, at least this level. Won't be too bad. Oh, big egg. I'll take a big egg. 2 swordmen. That one's. It's really that bottom one that's more difficult to kill because of the spikes. There we go. And this is the chaos room with all the enemy types. But I mean, I've cleared the way so I can just fly up. I shouldn't get hurt too much. Too much being the effective word here. And it's this room that's a bit of a tricky one. Nope, that didn't work. Oof, I am not starting this very well. All right. All right, we're in it. One, 2. Oh, I guess that counted as 3. We'll take it. The final boss is not a super difficult one here. It's a pretty straightforward little thing here. Grab the key. Dr. B. Definitely a Mega Man joke. So that's the final boss. You gotta bonk him on his little canopy thing a bunch of times. It's honestly not very. I think the level right before, the section right before with all the enemies is a lot harder. You just have to. Yay, I won. And then you fall down the hole. And you see that I saved 2 of the baby birds. I have no idea. There's 2 others. I know where one of the other is, but I don't know where the other one. Pretty fun and cute little game. What do we have here? Another homebrew game, The Chicken of the Farm. With a title like that, you know what it's about. It's about a jumping frog. Obviously. You gotta grab the key and get to the exits. For now, it's pretty straightforward. As you can see, you just move around. There's bugs you can grab. And there you go. The levels get really difficult. Those first few ones, pretty easy. It's really the controls in this game that you gotta get used to, because your frog is always opping, and jumps, well, kind of behave weird as well. Jump straight in the hole. There we are. Go. Now there's a nest with birds in it. That's a big problem. That's why you have a health bar. Unfortunately, eating the birds doesn't restore your health, but you know, if you were a frog and you were eating birds, that'd be weird to start with, so. Malware bites, what are you doing? I didn't fall all the way down. That's a good start. There you go. Now I need to fall all the way. Oh, no, it's not all the way down. As you can see, the levels can get a little bit more tricky. Here, the exit, I thought it was all the way down. It isn't. Where's the traffic and the crocodile? Well, it's chicken of the farm, not Frogger. Even though it's a joke on, well, not on it, but it's a... In Chinese, apparently, frogs... The characters for frog are literally like chicken of the field or chicken of the farm, so that's where the title of this game comes from. And this is one of the first level where it gets tricky, because there's always some needles trying to kill you. And I am... There we go, got it. Ah. Oh crap. I just realized, I thought it was the last level of this world, but no, there's still this one. Yeah, I think I'm game over. Yep. Game over. Hey, we were talking about Contra earlier. I haven't played that in a long time, so don't expect me to be any good at it. Crap. Did I miss the spread shot? No, there it is. Oh, I can't get it. Ah, crud. The only weapon you really want is that spread shot. Oh, there we go. I've got it now. Spread shot is just overpowered in this game. Oh, I fully understand people playing this game for hours. It is so entertaining. There's always something to do. There we go. The first boss is easy, at least, especially if you've got spread shot. Be honest, most of the game is easy if you've got spread shot. Boo 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 boo, braze one. Ooh, Contra 3. I've never played Contra 3. I've played Contra and Super C, personally. possible. Ugh, well, there we go. There goes my spread shot. Oh, you can't kill those? I thought you could kill the little roly things. There you go. Oh, jeez. I didn't do the extra lives continue trick. That's an easy one, at least. Contra 4 was on the SNES, I think. Ugh. Here we go. I'm not doing terrible. I thought I'd be doing worse. There we go, got it. That's the one I didn't get last time. Nintendo DS? Okay, that's what my son was saying. My son's watching me on the other side. That was bad. Oh, that was bad. I am not good at this game. I am not good at this game at all. 2007? Okay. Yeah, I am not good at the game. Maybe I should do the 40 lives continue thing. That would be better. Clash of Demon Head I've tried again recently. This is a used to be great game, and then you realize that it's not that great. There. I could play Trog. There we go. Guardian Legends. This is an awesome game that I recommend anyone try, honestly. It is an RPG mixed with a shooter, mixed with a vertical shooter. It does a whole lot of things, and it's really weird at the same time. Probably one of my favorite game on the NES. Someone has tried to remaster this game. Some weird Russian dude. It never went anywhere, unfortunately. It's also one of the rare games where you hitting the enemy actually deals damage. You can actually body some bosses by running into them. I got this game for $8 at a garage sale, and I think it was the best $8 we ever invested. I must have played 500 hours, 600 hours of this game on the NES. And it's that first boss, when you get to it the first time, you have no idea what's going to happen, and you just get shot by all the enemies. It gets rather frustrating and rather difficult. But you just got to know a little bit of the patterns and the drill, and it gets fairly... There isn't really that many retro game stores around here. And as you can see, now it turns into an RPG, kind of Zelda-ish RPG. Go. And there's all sorts of effects. There's items you can buy trading chips. Is there any that I need here? I'll get it. Wave shot. Predecessor to Nier Automata. I guess that would be a weird way of saying it, but I guess it would. Yeah, that's chips. Nothing's useful. Retro games closed. Yeah. Well, a lot of places are probably going through hard times, so I understand why. But in a retro game store, you can't be making that much money in the long run either. Ooh, there's a boss. Oh, it's this guy? Okay. Like a weird dude popping out of the ground, then there's a spider once you're done with them. That guy's not very threatening when there's one spider. There's later versions of this guy who spawns like half a dozen to a dozen spiders. Now at that point they get a little bit more problematic. Yay, more health. That was a health upgrade. I will take health upgrade. Those are very important. Because like I said, you can body the enemies, so sometimes I will use my body as a weapon against some of the bosses. I think that's a game where, ouch. That's a game that even with not having played it in a decent while, I'll have decent abilities at anyways. Because I played this game quite a bit in the days. That's the a chip upgrade. The chip upgrade gives me 100 chips rather than what we had before, 50. And you can see it upgrades the quality of your gun. Your gun's a little bit wider. This guy, not very dangerous. You just have to shoot him. Sigma Star Saga. What console was that on? Did we advance? My son has a better understanding of some of those games. Body the enemy works in RL, but HR isn't a fan. Yes, that is true. HR is not a fan of anything. HR is never a fan of anything. Don't you? Have you noticed? I need to find a good Game Boy Advance emulator because there's a few decent Game Boy Advance games that I want to try that I haven't either I've played and beaten but I want to do again, or never tried but should. Yes, your character turns into a plane. It's basically Macross, but the plane is smaller, I guess. Unless the Guardian is very big. I am not sure. The lore for this game is not super complex. There isn't much depth to it. Use RetroArch for everything. Maybe I should get an eye out for it. You know, I like playing Stardew Valley, I like playing Warhammer, but retro games are fun to play too. So, I mean, and I don't want to stream 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day, or whatever, so short bursts of games is fun for me. And retro games are fun in short bursts. But I wouldn't say... Yes, nowadays we say Game Boy Advance is retro, but it's not that retro. I mean, I was in CJEP when Game Boy Advance was out. Sorry. But I think the Game Boy Advance is one of those console that's one of the most pirated out there. Everybody played all sorts of games on it, and it's one of those that made Nintendo very, very skittish about emulation because they lost a lot of money on that because of how much emulation there was. And for games like this here, or those Homebrews we were playing, or Arkista's Ring, I mean, nobody's got the rights on those games. There's not really any other ways to play them other than, you know, either finding an emulator or lucking out on a card. No, Sammy owns Sega. Technically, Arkista's Ring is by Sammy, but I have no idea if they probably... Well, and I have no idea how the copyright on a lot of those games work. Now, Sammy hasn't done anything with Arkista's Ring in 30 years, right? Most of the time that would be considered abandoned, but how abandoned is it? And how abandoned are games from companies like Hudson? Hudson Soft has gone bankrupt. The company that bought them went bankrupt. So who owns the rights to those games now? It's where it gets a little bit weird. Get in your jet and shoot fish. That is a extremely precise way of saying what we're doing in this game. I'm less worried about games on the Xbox or the PS4 than I am on the ones on the Xbox 360 and PS3. Because PS4, a lot of those games are retro compatible or have had later releases on you know, PC or something like that, or they remastered them. They love remastering their damn game. She is clearly a land air mech. So Clan Nova Cat wants to kill her. Battletech lore is weird. There we go. We killed Fleppa. Become the jet. Japan intensifies. Yes. There's a PS3 emulator. Yeah. I haven't tried it either. I can't tell you if it's any good or any bad. But what I'm worried about the PS3 is if they stop the support on it more than anything else. They stop supporting it, and you can't connect to it. You can't download games, download the patches. That's where those types of games kind of frustrate me a lot more. An NES game, yeah, sometimes you had games that were completely broken and didn't work. Yeah, we know that. Charles. But, I mean, for PS3, I mean, DS and 3DS, they stopped the support, so it's kind of annoying if you're trying to get it, right? Oh no, it's the evil crab guy. He is a bit more of a threat, but this particular version doesn't shoot a whole lot of balls, so it's not too terrible. Got Fireball. There's all sorts of special weapons, you just don't see me using them because I don't have a reason to. But some bosses, you kind of want the special weapons. The Vita is the one console that I think is the... I hope there's no real Vita exclusive or Vita games that were really good, you know. How many spells in Final Fantasy couldn't do anything because of bugs? I'd have to actually get a Final Fantasy copy out and check manually. It was a good chunk of them, unfortunately. I don't remember because I always played a randomizer, and in the randomizer, all the bugs are fixed. So, problem solved. Whoa, that is very bad. That wasn't... There. At least if I die, I'll restart here now. And I'm very close to death. Where am I? That's the question now. Oh, there you go. I'm dead. Not too bad. The restart point was right next to it. I mean, Final Fantasy I was a game that they coded. They didn't code as well as they could. They did it really quickly compared to how fast they should have done it. So that's where it's a bit more understandable that they messed it up, let's say. I mean, the thief class itself in Final Fantasy I is bugged. Even in the randomizer, they do everything they can to buff him up, and he's still terrible. I mean, there's no way the thief in Final Fantasy I is any good. Intelligence is bugged as well. So you can't... I mean, the spells were supposed to scale to your intelligence. They never did. The randomizer doesn't fix that, but most of the later re-releases do. Okay, this guy's a bit annoying. I don't remember him being that rough. There you go. Shots in. Do I use a weapon normally to beat this guy? Maybe. There, 150 chip max, restored full of my health. I'm good. I can go do that corridor. But there were quite a few games that were either had programming issues. I mean, in Final Fantasy, it was easy to know it was a programming issue because the things that they were supposed to do didn't do what they were supposed to do. But there's some games where... like, you can't tell it's a bug until you actually have, like, one of the developers show up and be like, yeah, we weren't intending this to actually work, but it did. And if you watch a lot of NES speedruns, you will see, like, how many bugs were still in games. And some of them we caught as kids. We figured them out just playing the games. So... But here's another difference: the teams making those games were like 6 guys in the back of a store or something. It wasn't teams of 15,000 people trying to make a game that still comes out with as many bugs as those NES games have, and almost none of them are as memorable. I mean, Warner Brothers just. They just said they lost 200... Well, they lost the price of the darn game, plus 200 million on that Suicide Squad game they released. That's incredible to me that you lose that much money on a single game. You didn't know about the safe spot in Pac-Man? Did you know that's the reason why Miss Pac-Man exists, David? They literally, it was the arcade owners, since there was that safe spot and the people knew the strats to beat the ghosts, a bunch of guys in arcades had their programmer friends come in and modify the game to Miss Pac-Man, where it changed the algorithm and it changed the rules for the ghosts. And when Namco learned about that, well, yeah, it was Namco back then. They got really, really mad because, you know, you weren't supposed to touch their arcade, and the arcade operators were like, "No, we're keeping those because with those we're actually making money. With the other ones, we're not." And then Namco bought the package for it and published it themselves. There's odd things in the history of video games. There's a reason why there's all sorts of channels online for things like a video game historian and things like that. My kids really love those kind of channels. So I end up watching them every once in a while. This guy's not too bad. He's annoying, and he's got his own special music, which is cool. But this guy's more annoying than anything. It's his blue brother that's the worst. There's 3 colors of him. There's the green one that we're fighting now, a blue one that is absolutely devastating, because those things he's shooting them at multiple speeds, so you almost always get it. The third one's the red one. He just shoots really, really, really long ones, but they're easy to guess where they're gonna go, so it's not super difficult to beat. I mean, getting hit by one of those weird tentacle thing is really, really bad. You get messed up really bad doing that. There we go. We cleared another corridor. This one's not required to beat the game. You need to beat the corridors 1 through 10 to beat the game. All the other ones, like 11 to 20, are bonus stages, which gives you extra points, extra experience, and more equipment. There we go. I'm going to save. I already have a save that dates from 2 years ago. And I'm going to tell everybody, have a nice evening. I don't want to spend too much time streaming. I hope you guys have a very nice rest of your day. I thank you very much for listening to me for so long, and I'll